through earth, wind, and fire. It is here you will find the answers which you desire. Long now have we awaited in shadow, for your truth to be seen within thy letter, despite what many have thought to seek. The truth will always reach. Long now for the Bible, the lost magic says made its arrival.
Merry meet, everybody, and welcome to our Friday night show with me and Sister Athena. We are going to be doing a show on talking about different witch faiths and the tools. And we're going to have a little talk about Imbolc as well, which Sister's going to do. So we hope that you enjoy the show, guys. Please remember to do any questions or anything in the room, and we will answer you to the best that we can. And welcome to the Lost Magic.
Welcome, everybody. Can you believe we're on show 3 already?
It's gone quick, isn't it?
Flying, doesn't it? Yeah, what I was going to do is, guys, because it is a bit difficult to show people on the podcast and things, us doing the altar, what we'll do is we will pre-record a video and we will get to Dakota and Chris and they will put it up on the channel. So tonight we were going to really just talk about the different ways of witchcraft. As Sister and I was explaining last week, there is green witches, black witches, white witches, as people like to stereotype us. But to us, we are just all witches. It's just that some of us prefer to practice one thing more than another. So as with your cookery witches, which you typically will call a kitchen witch, they love to cook, they love to work with the herbs more on the side of cooking things for their family. They usually do tinctures and things, which they usually put in a jar, and they'll have like different herbs and things all in it that you can drink in the winter time and things. Sparkle, that's my dog.
I've got like I've kind of got everything right there because I like to write all what I'm going to write and say down. So I have got a list of all the different sorts of witches there are with a brief description of what it is. And then if there's any that you particularly like the sound of, guys, or you think might sound like you, then maybe me and Sister could explain it in just a little bit more detail. But to be honest, the way that it is wrote should be able to explain to you what it is and stuff like that. I just thought that it'd be easier to do that way because then Sister's got a bit of time to talk about the Imbolc because we didn't really get to do that very much the other day. And that is our season coming in.
Yes. They're all very interesting. To me, a witch is a witch, though, to be honest with you. I think just that it depends on what you more like to do as a craft.
The truth is, the realities of a black, white, and grey witch. The fact is there is no black, white, or grey witch. A witch is a witch. Yeah, we use both of the elements, dark and light, and obviously those elements are part of Earth and part of the universe and part of us. So we use both. Okay, we're just given the phrases black, white, and grey to be able to symbolise us out in the sort of work we're supposed to do. But the thing is when you hear the word black witch, it doesn't mean evil or bad. Okay, no. It's just another association because some of us, when we go into our meditation state and we're wanting to communicate and connect, we'll see a white light, a gold light. Some of us don't. Some of us will see a dark slate, a black slate, but they see the same thing. It does not mean that they're doing bad magic. It just means they see through their mind a different way.
Yeah, it just means they manifest in the dark. Yeah.
Over the years, through stories and through things that have been said about witches, that's how this black, white, and grey witch come along. That black witches are bad and white witches are good. And, it is symbolised in that in some faiths as well, which don't help. And it's not like that at all. So coming face to face to a black or a white witch, you're going to get the same sort of work. I like to think that the ones that they associate as black witches are ones that just like to overstep that line a little bit. They like to take something there and then. It doesn't make them a black witch. It just means that they're a bit of a go-getter and that they're not scared to stand for what they're doing there and then, where the so-called white witches are the ones that just wait, when it isn't to do with the white and grey or black. It's to do with our decision and our way that we look at our faith. That is what it is. Okay, so black, white, and grey witches do not exist. A witch is a witch. We can do good, we can do bad. It doesn't matter. Okay, so, but
Would you like to read out some of the different types then?
we have got some witches here. So first, what I want to, they're upright. From what I know, there are 45 types of witches that
Wow,
are known
45.
that I know of, but there are more. So the most known faith of witches are circular, religious, solitary, and group. These are not necessarily witches themselves, but some of the methods of practice and other paths and traditions. Okay. So the circular is where you are a non-religious, so you do not follow any gods, goddesses, or higher powers, and you can't be a circular witch and believe in Wiccan, okay? Because Wiccan is a religious faith, okay? That's just giving you a little task. Then you've got your religious side of faith, which is where you believe in gods and goddesses, the higher paths and faiths. And you can actually attach this path to any other sort of witch faith that you've got. So you could be a sea witch, you could be a crystal witch, but be religious. Okay, so you would be in the religious criteria. Then you've got our solitary witch. Now, our solitary witch is a practitioner that works on their own and works with no one else. They have their own rules, their own ways, and their own faiths. They may have something that they follow, but they will not follow it through the word of anybody else. It's through their own beliefs. Then you have got our group. Our group is where people work together. That could be a couple of people, that could be a group, that could be a coven, that could be a spiritual practice, okay? But these sort of witches would be known as group witches, okay? So they're the main four facts of what faiths and paths that witches would normally go past. So then going down into actually the actual witches, there are different types of witches. We've got the Alexandrian witch, a witch who practices the magic founded by Alex and Maxine Sanders in the 1960s, with a focus on ritual and ceremonial magic. Then you have got the angel witch, a witch who works with angels rather than or in addition to traditional deities. So they just work with angels and the angel energies and powers. So they will work with everyday matters. Magic. Animist witch, a witch who believes there is life in all things and sees no distinction between human, planet, animal, or material objects. The amethyst witch sees the universe as a living entity and all are connected by it. Excuse me, guys, we're still going down. Then you've got the art witch, a witch who uses art as a medium of their magic. Ordinary witches, a witch who divines omens, signs, and symbols, and they will use that through doing artwork. They will portray their energies into artwork, just like somebody that might do dancing or singing and things like that, so on. Axis Moody witch, a witch who studies the core idea that there is a central pillar that joins the earth to heaven. Then you've got the British traditional witch, a witch who focuses on the superstitions and the spells that originated in the British Isles. Then you've got a Celtic witch, a witch who focuses on Celtic and Welsh deities, mythology, rituals, and earth magic.
That's more like me, but then again, a lot of them's like us.
Yeah. Ceremonial witch, a witch who practices high magic, ceremonials such as hermetic, telemic, and Ephesian, with a rigid and set by a step method. Then you've got the chaos witch, a witch who has a contemporary practice that incorporates many types of magic and is guided intuitively rather than with strict steps as seen in high magic.
That's more the one that people call a dark witch, to be honest with you. But they're not.
Cathanino witch, a witch who practices a variation of the Alexandrian tradition, which is also included with Greek gods and goddesses. Corellian witch, a witch that practices a type of Wiccan founded in the 20th century by Caroline High Coram. She descended from a line of Cherokee Dignishii with intermarried with Scottish traditions. Witches and Correllian witches was further influenced by the Adrian witchcraft and the Spanish church, the spiritualist church.
That's the Ceremonial Witch.
Yeah, the colonial witch.
Yeah.
Then you've got the cosmic witch, a witch who focuses on astrology and the placements of planets, stars, moons when practicing their crafts.
Yeah. They're very mystic.
Very mystic, yeah.
Yeah. They do your numerology and things.
Then you've got your crystal witch, a witch who focuses heavily on crystals in their magic. Dianic witch, branching from Wiccan. Dianic witches focus on female deities. Dianic witchcraft is named after the Roman goddess Diana, ruler and hunting, nurture, and the moon.
That's the one I think only lets females in.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's female based.
Yeah, it's not allowed.
Eclectic witch, a witch that incorporates many different traditions into craft, slightly similar to the chaos witch, but they may follow strict guidelines if desired. Then you have got the Egyptian witch, a witch who follows a path similar to Wiccan, but with the focus of Egyptian deities.
See, that's a deep magic.
A very, very deep
Very
magic.
deep.
Very, very. Elemental witch, a witch who works with the five estric elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. So they work with the elements, they work with nature. They are the sort of things that they would do. Then you've got our fairy witch, which is part of what I am. I am a fairy witch as well. You can have many names, not just one.
They
Okay.
would probably light up. They would probably open a circle every time they did magic, because that is what they honour, is the earth, air, fire, and water. So they would.
Yeah, which is why you see if I'm doing my rituals, you'll see me open all of the quarters because of that. Fairy witch
powerful.
is a witch who works with the Fae, rooted in Irish and Scottish cultures.
That's a very interesting.
Then you've got the folk witch, or the cunning folk. Hereditary witch who follows a path similar to British witchcraft and used their magic and skills for practical purposes, which were possessed down through generations. Not common. These witches are not common, but they are known.
Yeah.
Gardnerian witch, a
Gardenian.
witch who practices a secret, formal, and highly structured version of Wiccan based on the works of Gerald Gardner, who is credited for the modern witchcraft movement.
That's the one that done the big blue book.
Yes.
He's the one that most witches of our day take their information from.
Then you've got our green witch, a witch that uses gardening and herbalism in most of their craft and often focuses on healing, work, and earth magic. Then you've got the hearth witch, a witch who focuses on magic in the home. Then you've got our hedge witch, which is a bit of me as well. I am a solitary witch. A solitary witch that holds both kitchen and green witch attributes, such as making healing potions and brews in the kitchen. Think of the old woman in the wood archetype.
See, I always think of a wee old woman in a wee cottage in the woods when I think of that type of witch. Going out and collecting branches and herbs for a wee garden.
Hellenic witch, a pagan witch who worships the ancient Greek pantheon of gods and goddesses. Hereditary witch. Unique to each family, hereditary witch learns from their ancestral line, which means that it is where there are a number and a line of witches in the family, and the traditions that they have practiced and they put in their books and things like that are handed down in each generation. That is a hereditary witch. That's somebody that is
Hereditary.
born into it. They're
They
born
probably
into
wouldn't
it.
let anybody else into their coven.
Yeah, they don't let.
Yeah,
They're
because it's
normally
all
very private
hereditary.
and very secret because it's a
Very,
family sort of orientated practice.
yeah,
Kitchen witch,
very
a witch who
honest.
focuses on magic at home, especially in the kitchen. So they'll cook, they'll use herbs, they'll put their intentions, their magic through their ladles, their spoons, through their food, the herbs they pick up,
They're
and
the
just
true
doing general
alchemists.
everyday things around the home as well. That
Yeah,
is
they're
what
the
a
true
kitchen witch is.
alchemists of witchcraft. That's the ones that,
Alchemists, yeah.
yeah, that's the ones that probably made up most of your
Then you've
medicines.
got the left-handed witch, a witch who often breaks taboos.
Yeah.
You've got the Luciferian witch, a witch who believes in Lucifer as the bringer of light, and reverse the angel for enlightenment, independence, questioning authority, and possessive ideals. Lunar witch, a witch that heavily uses the cycles of the moon to
That
do
sounds like
nearly
my
all
friend.
her magic work. Then you've got
You
a
always
music
recognise
witch,
yourself in them.
a witch who uses music as the medium of her magic. So, you know,
Yeah.
she'll symbolize all her power and her magic through movement and through making the sounds and the instruments. That's how she makes her magic. Then you've got neo-pagan witch, an umbrella term for witches who practice newer forms of the craft such as Wiccan, guardianism, and a new earth-based custom.
That's Gardenianism. That's
Yeah,
he's probably
Norse
the
witch.
most famous. I would think a lot of people
Oh yeah,
use Gardner.
a Norse witch who centers their craft around Norse traditions or ancient sorcery and deities such as Odin and Freya.
You always
Right-handed witch,
recognise yourself in all of them.
a right-handed witch, a witch that practices magic that is guided by social norms. Satanic witch, a witch that lives by the seven satanic tenets and is strongly against the construct of the declaratorial society, has nothing to do with worshipping the Christian idea of Lucifer devil. Worshipping does exist elsewhere under the broad realm of witchcraft. Neither is exclusive to one another. Scandinavian witch, a witch who practices and studies Danish folklore and some Norse traditions.
That's Amora,
Amora,
because
yeah.
Amora follows kind of not the Vikings, but she uses like Odin, and they don't have no Odin specifically, but she'll work with they type of energies.
Then you've got the sea witch, a witch who practices water-based magic and usually lives in a coastal area. A water witch works with lakes, rivers, streams, and is not confound to the ocean. So then you've got your circular witch, a witch who practices magic without worshipping a deity or their deities, and witchcraft are kept separate. Shamanic witch, a witch who uses an altered state of consciousness and delivers their magic. Then you've got the sigil witch and the sigils witch. They are also known as word witch. These practitioners use signals and words waved into their magic. So they do through words and through verses and so on like that. Then you've got a solitary witch, which is myself. A witch who practices alone rather than in a coven, so she works on her own. So if you're a solitary witch, you can go on to have a religion. You can be religious, so you could be a solitary religious sea crystal witch or crystal kitchen witch,
I
whatever
think
you
every
know.
witch is really hereditary is a
Yeah, I think we've all got a bit of that
witch,
in us. Yeah.
you know, because I think everybody is solitary, and then
I
they
think
choose
every
to
witch
maybe
faith's got
join a
some of
coven.
that in it. We don't all work all. There's always going to be some of the practices that we do on our own. So we do a bit of everything. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
tech witch, a witch who does most of her work digitally or with some form of technology. This will become more prevalent over the time in modern witchcraft. Thelma Witch, a witch who uses the occult wizardry founded by Aleister Crowley. Witches centres around ceremonial magic and Egyptian rituals. Then you've got the Wiccan Witch, a witch who practices the modern pagan religion of Wiccan, introduced by Gerald Gardner. Note, Wiccan is a religious witchcraft, is not a religion. What? Note, Wiccan is a religion, witchcraft is not a religion, although can be involved in religious beliefs and should those be legally protected equally. That was the names of the witches that I got for you guys so far. So they were some of the witches. There are a lot. Now, as I was explaining to you, say like if you're not a religious person, you would not be able to go into such faiths as Wiccan or pagan or anything like that, because that is religious based. Okay. So you would be not put into that category. So you could be a solitary, or you could just be solitary, which would normally be you, or you could be in a group as well, but it may be that you're in a group that's not spiritual, it's just more about the magic side. So you could just be involved in magic yourself but not have a deity or something that you believe in. So
most witches will have somebody they pray to, type of thing, or worship, whether it just be an energy or the god and the goddess. No, not everybody will choose to have a deity, which is a higher being that you choose to not honour but pay homage to.
the thing is some of them believe that they've got an energy and they've got a power within them that is just them. Okay, so they don't believe that a higher powers gave them that. They just believe that's how we were made, and that may be made from the universe and things. And because of the universe's power, that's why we endure that, and that's why we can do that. They don't believe that there is any deity or anything that's associated with that. They look at the world and the way that the world was formed a completely different way. So for those sort of witches do not follow any sort of religion, would not follow any gods, goddesses, nothing. They follow their own self and the universe, what they believe in. But most of you witches, if you're coming into it, are going to be in either of these categories. You're either going to be a circular witch, which is non-religious. You're either going to be a religious witch, and obviously most people are either going to be a solitary or they're going to be a group. They're either working with people or they're not working with people, and this can be varied through witchcraft as well.
I
Because
would say if you are
I'm a solitary witch, when I need help, I will go to Sister Drew. So I do work in a group way as well, but a lot of my magic I don't do with anybody else. I keep away from everybody. So I do class myself as a solitary with hidden benefits of group when I need it, sort of thing. Sister.
I think you have people that you could trust through time, because me and sister do class each other as sisters because we've got to know each other. We have definitely a similar way of working, and we know that together we are powerful. So I think as long as we can guide you guys with the things that we've learned, these will be okay. And I started off with the god and the goddess, which is the moon goddess and the sun goddess. So
like I think in my opinion, if you're starting out in the faith, then have something that you do believe in and pray to. You know what I mean? It makes the path so much easier than not having something that you can go by. And anybody, because people say, what is the word witch associated with? The witch is associated with the word wise person. Okay, we're wise people that know about elements of the earth, elements of the universe. We know about all different seasons, different plants, different trees. You know, we're all individually different. I'm not saying that me and sister know all of these things, but what I'm saying is witches have a number of different things they're good at. Some of them are really good at herbs. Some of them are really good at crystals. Some of them are good at a number of things. You know, I like to do a bit of here and there and everywhere.
It's fun getting some crystals, seeing how you feel when you handle them. It's fun getting some herbs and mixing them together. Look up their properties, mix them together, put some intent into them. And it's amazing the things that you can do just to start your craft off. As long as you start off with a place of wanting to learn and always have a pure intent, don't ask for anything straight away. Don't expect you're going to
No.
start doing spell work and asking for money and asking for the next best job and things. You'll not do that. You will have to build up a trust. You will have to open up. Make sure that you are feeling the goddess. Make sure that
It's
you're
about the
feeling nature
relationship with
open
them.
up to you.
You need to
You
have a
want to.
relationship first.
I mean,
That's
sister
the
and
main
I
thing.
will tell you that we do hear the trees. And I'd never ever thought I would hear the trees talk, and that's the truth. I can actually, mostly in October when they really are blowing, you do hear voices in them, and that is the God's honest truth. And through time, you will open up enough that you will hear it too. You'll stand on a beach and hear the sea, and you will hear the different waves and
Sounds
things.
and
Mhm.
yeah.
It's amazing, guys, and it really is a learning curve. And it is up to you. Everything is what you want it to be. As I said last week and the week
Exactly.
before, your altar is a representation to you and your goddess, your God, even just to your ancestors. I mean, that is just a representation of the different things that you want to give to them, like your earth,
Just
air. Everything's a
Just know that
representation.
when we're here tonight and when we have these shows on a Friday night, we're not doing these shows because we're telling you you've got to become witches, okay? You haven't, okay? You might just want to educate, you might want to learn. But at least when we're doing these, if there are any of you that want to come over into our faith or come into a similar faith, you've got videos, you've got things you can go back on to understand about it more and to be able to open to it more. You'll be able to go back over mine and sister's videos on here, on our channels, and there will be the guidance there to help you guys, and we're always here as people as well. If you need anything in more deep detail, we're
Yeah,
here to help you.
definitely.
But don't think that what us sitting here and telling you this is us trying to push it onto you. It is your choice, like sister said, and you have to be the one to make the choice. We can't make that for you, and you've got to, as we said last week, and I made very clear that you do have to be committed to it, and you do have to know that you want to do it, because once you come into it, you can't step out of it. And if you
No.
do try to, there will be consequences for doing
Yeah.
that. So you really do need to know that you want to do it, and do some studying and research first before you really think about it. And like sister said the other week, maybe do a couple of weeks where you dedicate yourself in the morning to them, and see if you can keep that going. Because if you can't keep that going, then you're not going to be very good at doing your
No.
witchcraft at this moment in time, because you need to be able to get up every day. You need to be able to do something. Even if you're not feeling well and you can't do it fully, you still need to be able to pray and show your appreciation. So doing the dedication will give you that path and show you if you've got what it takes to do it yet. It's not saying that you can't, you just may not be in your time at the minute.
Yeah.
You might
And
need a
even
little
if it is
time.
just lighting a candle every day and
Yeah,
telling the energies that you still are interested, that it's just today you really are pushed to try these things, or maybe you're pushed for time, and explain that is what you need to do. You need to open up to them so that they know you are true, and then they'll feel it anyway. And if there is a deity there waiting on you just inviting them in or welcoming them in, they will monitor you and they'll know if you're ready or not anyway.
yes,
So
they
I would
will.
just keep doing it and explaining that today you can only do 5 minutes, 15 minutes is a little bit much today.
They
And
are
they'll respect that.
understanding. They are
And
understanding, and they will work with you.
it is just to thank the energies of life for being here another day. Even if you start off like that, just giving the thanks for being here another day, for having your family, for having food, for having money in your pocket, anything, even if it's just starting off being thankful for that. And
Exactly.
then the
We're
other
not
things will come.
we're not telling you to start doing really major things, just little things that you wouldn't normally do. Like sis said, like just
And
thanking
it
them,
starts your day in a
lighting
positive
a
manner.
candle and putting some love and some protection out to the world and to your family. Little things like that will help you to grow and progress, and that will help them connect to you more, because they'll see that you're trying, like sis said as well. It's not that you've got to do everything, it's got to be that they can see that you're putting that work in, you're trying. Okay,
And when
because
you
that's what they
start,
want.
you won't want to stop. You will buy
Yeah,
everything. You will buy every book. You will buy every.
you'll get addicted to the smells and everything. Like
You'll love
it's
it.
beautiful.
It is
It's
one of the
beautiful.
best. I've always bought things and said, right, I'll start doing this, buy the stuff to start a craft or something, and I never ever do it. And then I found with this, I just was, the minute I knew I was a witch and I bought my first incense, bought my first crystals, I just couldn't get enough.
The
So you
same
will
with
know.
me. I've never been able to stick at anything. Nothing's ever worked out for me apart from this.
Yeah.
That, like, I find myself, like, normally I'm quite good, but when it comes to my witchcraft and stuff, if I'm online or something and I'm looking at one thing, I end up buying 7 or 8 different things because you're so addicted to it, and because you know that it does the world of good when you're doing that work as well. You know what I mean? Like, you'll just be going across on your phone and you'll see these really nice little crystals. Then you'll see something else you want, and then something else comes up, and it's like, oh,
I
it's
kind of
amazing.
manifested. See these I've had in my basket. These I've
Yeah, they're
had
pretty.
these in my basket on Amazon for I started my craft. And I
Yeah.
just could never ever afford them. And then at Christmas time, my mum gave me them. And I was like, yes, I've been wanting these for years. So I
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
good.
manifested them with them just being in my basket in Amazon.
And that's a lot of it as well, is manifesting what you want. And it does work if you really put your mind to it. Like, I've manifested and I've manifested and I've manifested about the
Mm-hmm.
dreams and the things that I want, and it's actually happening.
It's
You know what I mean?
amazing when you
It
do
is.
get these things, or you're walking down the street and you see something, and then you go home. Like, say it's the sign of a cross or something, or the sign of the pentagram, just for talk's sake, and then you go home and you see the exact same image on a video, or I don't know, whatever, and then you think to yourself, that is just another sign. Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
amazing when you put it all together, and you can't deny it because it's something that usually you wouldn't see every day to day. So how can you deny something like that? And feelings as well. You will feel these things, and you will recognise that maybe some of the feelings aren't yours, because the minute you start opening up and you go into a shop, you will start to feel the energies of other people as well. So you have to start bubbling yourself and preparing yourself for the energies of normal people, because you're that sensitive to the energies of spirit. You know, it's amazing, but it's one of the best things, I think, when you really feel that you're connected. And I don't think you could ever easily deny that, you know. What's up?
Just going through my bits. Stuff's all over the place, guys.
I can't see chat. I was going to put the YouTube up to see chat. I'm not
The
going
next
in, but
the next bit that we wanted to talk to you about as well was some of the witch tools, guys, because we thought that it'd be really good to cover that as well. So you've got the ideas about the witches. You can go back over this video. I am going to be posting this stuff out into the company page, and I'm also going to be doing it onto my big paranormal page on my Facebook as well. So you will be able to get hold of this information, so you can look it up yourself. What I've got, you can look that up for yourselves, and you'll be able to go over it. And then obviously any of the witch names that we've gave out, you could just put that witch name in and it'll come up with lots of information, and you'll be able to look in it in more detail. I've gave you basics. You can do your own research into what you're wanting to do, because you may find that there is more than one faith that you like as well. So you might want to go for more than one thing. So it's good to just take the names and do your own research. So another thing that's really important for witches, and that, okay, even though we can use ourselves and do our own thing, a lot of witches do like to use tools when they are practicing. Okay, so we're going to tell you some of the main tools that you would use in your rituals, your spell work, and things like that. So excuse me, the best magic tools are the ones which you make or you find in the wild. Although there are many mythical shops online, or if you're lucky enough, on your local high street, when choosing tools, select items which feel personal and appealing to you. Okay, they will jump out to you. They will choose you. You don't choose them, they choose you. Each item has a purpose, but not all traditions use the same tools, and they are not always used in the same way. Bells, for example, were originally used to drive away evil spirit, but nowadays in some branches of Wiccan, bells are rung to invoke the goddess. So below here is a small list. So we've got the altar, we've got anthems, boilings and swords, bells, rattles and singing bowls, book of shadow, BOS, or grimoire. You've got the bason or the broom, candles, cauldron, chalice, clothing, crystals, divination tools, herbs, incense, offering bowl, pentacle, rope or string, statues, wands, and of course yourself. Okay, you're the most important tool in any witch kit. Okay, so the altar is a secret space where you will keep all of your ritual tools. It is also used as a worship space for spell casting. The most common type of altar is a table, but there are witches that are known who usually have small carry cases and have portable altars. You've got bedroom drawers that can be used to keep their craft secrets in, and even a cupboard box or a prevent their cats from knocking everything off or into use.
Especially if
Okay,
you're using
any
catnip.
animals, children, anything like that.
Be
Altars
aware
are
of catnip
often
in your cats. Sorry,
Altars
sis.
are often the centerpiece of pagan rituals or religious ceremonies, and a place of communication with the guides and the deities. Some people have more than one altar in their home, each used for different themes, such as seasonal altars for the Sabbats, or an astral altar holding family, heirlooms, and photos.
Yeah.
To decorate your secret space, you could use a special altar cloth or scarf or a tile. Materials such as stones, wood, ceremonic help the energy to stay grounded and can be engraved with symbols such as the pentagram or personal signals to you. Okay. An altar is your personal magic space and should hold its items that are only of value and importance to your unique spiritual path. There is no right or wrong way to set one up. Okay. Anthems, bow lines, and swords. A blade represents masculine energy and the element of air. As
Your
a cutting
alchemy
tool, it
sometimes
is
takes years to
associated with
find.
movement and used to
I've still not got
metaphorically
my
cut
alchemy yet.
something. In witchcraft, anthems and swords are not shaped sharp as they are not used for physical cutting. They're just used for fruits and things in your ritual.
Your alchemy is usually like a little sword. I've still not
And a
found
theme
mine
is a
yet.
double-edged blade, usually with a black handle. It is used to direct energy, cast a circle, or as an alternative to a wand.
Especially when
A
you've got kids
bowline
around.
is a blade in the shape of a half moon, usually with a white handle. It is used to harvest herbs. A sword is a large double-edged blade used to mark a large sacred circle in a coven. The high priest or priestess are the ones that usually use this, the only ones who have the right to use this. Then you've got your bells, your rattles, and your singing bells. These are what we would use in our rituals to be able to call the higher powers and the deities and things. So, centuries ago, bells were rung to ward off evil and cause vibrations which were believed to be the source of great power. Rattles and singing bowls are also good noisemakers that can bring a symbolic, peaceful vibration to a secret space of magic and a magic circle. Bells can be used to banish or summon spirits. Ring a bell or a clamp or clap your hands in the corner of a room to remove unwanted or negative energies. Then you've got our most prized thing, which is our Book of Shadows or the Grimoire. A book of shadows is a notebook or a journal of information and your magic practices. These books
I
are
like that.
written by you and contain everything you have relevant so far, such as spells, innovations, rituals, legends, and deities, and pantheons and moon charts. A DOS is a very personal and intimate tool. Many witches keep theirs private. However, sometimes information from a book is passed from one witch to another, such as from a mother to her daughter. Covens may have also have a coven BOS, as well as each member owning their own individual book. A besom or a broom. The brush of a broom is usually made from straw, bound together at the end of a long wooden pole. The brush or a bason is usually made of birch twigs, making it more round in shape, and it is tied onto an ash or oak staff using willow strands. A bason or a broom is used to spiritually cleanse and sweep negative energies from a space, purifying it before a ritual or spell work. This tool should be used separately to your everyday cleaning tools. To use a basin or a broom, lightly sweep the room in a clockwise direction. When you are done, open the nearest door and sweep the negative energy outside, shutting the door behind you so it doesn't return. When you are not using your baton or your broom, hang it above your front door to ward off negative energy from entering. Candles can be used for many purposes such as summoning deities or manifestation, and represents the fire element in spells and rituals, as well as being used in Wiccan and in the symbol of God and the goddess. Candles are used in spell work to absorb your energy and to release it as it burns. Our cauldron, our goddess, our mother of and birth of magic. Okay, a traditional three-legged witch's cauldron is made from cast iron and can be used in many ways, such as to burn incense, herbs, make offerings, perform water scrying, and brew potions. She's also known as the goddess, and she's also what births magic and makes magic come to light. Okay, so that's why we have the cauldron as well. Then you've got our secret chalice. A chalice represents the elements of water and can be used in your secret space as a feminine vessel. In magic circles, a chalice is sometimes filled with a wine or a water and passed around the group as a bonding exercise so everyone can take a sip. It can also be filled with wine as an offering to the goddesses and the gods and the higher powers. And these would normally be used in your rituals, and that when you're doing your rituals and you're doing your big things, you would do that if you follow that way. Then you've got our clothing, obviously. There are no dress code when it comes to performing magic. However, some witches choose to wear specific items of cut or colours of clothing when casting spells or performing rituals. Colours can affect the way energy moves, and many witches choose to wear black to prevent distraction. Wearing a ritual cloak, robe, or mask focuses the mindset and helps different differentiate magical work from non-magical activities. Then you've got our crystals. Crystals hold the energy of the earth, and each one holds a unique vibration frequency. They are commonly used during meditation, manifestations, and healing work, but the ones you use will depend on your intentions. So choose a crystal with an appropriate correspondence for your spell work. Crystals should be cleared regularly and recharged either by the full moon or by burying them in earth overnight. You can also put them onto a dish with salt and do your prayers and stuff over them as well, but them two are the most effective ways. Divination tools such as crystal balls, tarot cards, oracle cards, runes, scrying mirrors, pendulums have many uses, including to receive messages and information, confirm your intuitions, and communicate with your guides. Most witches don't work with all the available divination tools, instead, choosing one or two practices which they connect with the best and preferring perfecting their gifts in those methods. Then you've got the herbs. Like crystals, herbs hold the energy of earth, and each one holds a unique vibration frequency. Herbs can be used in a huge variety of ways in spell work such as teas, incense, smudging, kitchen witchery, baths, self-care rituals, and sachets. A mortar and pestle is a useful tool to have in your inventory when working with herbs, as it allows you to easily crush leaves, petals, stalks, and resin to make powders. Then you've got your incense sticks. Incense is a powerful tool used to focus on your intentions for your manifestation, your meditation, on your goals while it burns. They are also helpful for cleansing and blessing a space and purifying yourself and others before casting a magic circle. There are many forms available, such as sticks, cones, and powders, and many different fragrances, each for specific purposes, which are sold widely online and in local methodological shops. Okay. Offering bowls are for those that follow the religious path. And an offering bowl or container is used to place offerings for your deities, your higher powers, and to give your thanks and your understanding for what they do. Our most important is our pentacle. A pentacle is a protective amulet made for flat wood, clay, or metal. And then you've got the pentacle, and then you've got the pentagram. So the pentacle is the one where it is just the star, is the just the star, and then you've got the pentagram, which is the one that's got the circle that goes round it. Okay, they're all a bit different. Obviously, your pentagram would normally be a metal or a wood, and that more symbolizes the ways of earth and our elements, where the pentacle is more, like they said, it's made from flat wood. It's a protective symbol, just as the pentagram. It's just that the only difference is one's got a circle, which is a bit more of a stronger power. Okay.
Mhm.
Or
A
wax,
lot of the,
yeah,
a lot
or
of the
wax
time,
or engraved with a magical symbol, most commonly a pentagram.
see,
The
a lot of the time when you're
pentacle
doing a
represents the
vigil,
earth element and is usually placed on the altar to hold items that are going to be blessed. Rope or string. Rope or string can be used to knot magic, witches' ladders, charms, and hand fasting ceremonies. They can also be used for binding spells or securing pouches. Then you've got statues. 3D statues, such as figurines, dolls, or sculptures, are used to represent the target for your spell or your manifestation for your target. This may be another human with their consent, an animal, or yourself. They can also be used for visualizations or offerings. Some witches keep statues on their altars to honor or represent a deity, such as gods, goddesses, and so on. Then you've got our wands. Wands can be made from a natural material and are used for summoning entities, or invoking deities, directing energy, blessing, and conscripting magic tools or secret spaces. Most traditionally, wands are made from wood, with the type of wood having its own magical correspondence. A wand represents male energy and power. And then the best and most important tool of all is yourself, because of your intentions, your energy. And without us, none of these tools I've just read out to you, or any of this work, or any of these witch practices we've said to you today will work. You are the best tool. So that is my stuff that I got for the show, sis. I don't know if you want to go on to talk about your Imbolc and put
yeah.
your views on what I've just spoke about as well. Over to you.
Thing is, guys, as I said, your altar is a representation of you, and it's a representation of what you want it to be, such as with your ancestors. If you want to set up an ancestor altar, you do everything with the cleansing as usual. You set up a white candle, maybe even a red candle, maybe even a photograph of your ancestors, something they liked, either coffee, whiskey, even I put a cracker and cheese on my altar because my granddad liked crackers and cheese. So you do anything that your ancestors typically liked to honour them and welcome them in. Usually photographs, even if you've not got a photograph, their name, or just your intent to bring them in. So an altar is anything you want to build to honour something, whether it just be yourself and your craft, or your ancestors, or Imbolc, or any of the seasons. It is, if there is, and you have got a typical altar, as Sister just explained. But what I'm going to do is, because I can't show the guys on podcast what I would show you normally, is I'll do a video and I will show you a typical altar setup, and I'll show you the Imbolc altar all lit up. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Imbolc and why we as witches celebrate the Imbolc and why it is special to us. A lot of people think Imbolc is one of the most important ones because it is like the start of the sun refocusing and things. And others like Halloween, of course, Samhain. But I'll read a little bit about what Imbolc is and what it means. Also called Candlemas, Imbolc, Britannia, Bride's Day, Brid's Day. Date is the 2nd of February when the sun is 15 degrees into Aquarius. Imbolc means in milk. That is why a lot of people, if you know a lot of witches, you'll see sometimes milk on their altars instead of water. That's why that is. Primary focus, new growth, end of winter, rituals of purification, offerings to deities such as, I've got this one set up for Hecate, which on Imbolc I will give her extra gifts that I don't usually give her every other day, along with my Imbolc altar. Imbolc honours the goddess as the waiting bride of the returned sun god before the Nordic influence. If it was also the Sabbath in which the Celts saw the sun as being born anew, as in the sun rose for the winter. In Ireland it was and still is a special day to honour the goddess Brid, which is Bridget, and her cause of bride. The modern Irish know this as Bridget's Day, St. Bridget being Christianised version of the pagan goddess. And if you go to my channel, guys, you will see me do last Imbolc. I did a dedication to Bridget on my channel if you want to go back and look at that. It's very interesting, actually, some of the info is in it. The maiden Irish known this as Bridget's Day. I read that bit. The Celtics would often dress grain dollies. Now, this is where a lot of people think that when you walk into the woods and you see things hanging in trees, such as little dollies and things, that's where a lot of people think witchcraft is bad. And it usually is just a dedication to either the sun, the moon, your goddess, or something. So that is what that is when you walk into the woods and you see little dollies and things hanging from the trees. Usually it will be around this time of the year. So the Celts would often dress grain dollies. These representations are made from dried sheaves from the previous harvest as brides and set them in a place of honour within their homes or in their woods where they do their worshipping and their rituals. They were usually placed in cradles called brides' beds, and nuts, symbols of fertility, were tossed in with them. This is also a Sabbath where candles are lit in profusion, often within a wreath, a symbol of the wheel of the year. They are symbolic of the heat and the light of the returning sun. At Imbolc, the deities are still youthful and not yet joined as one through sacred marriage. They are innocent and fun-loving, and are waiting just as anxiously for spring as we are. Magical ideas for Imbolc. Add a circle of white candles to your altar. This is the one that I will typically be showing you guys. It's just candles to the altar, which I will be doing different coloured candles though. And to me, that is going to be a representation of people that I want to thrive this year. And I'm going to do little dedications to people on, and I will explain that in the video, but right. But you typically would be, that is why at this time of the year, if you're lighting an altar up as well. And they also say, I don't know if you know this, sis, but at the Imbolc, when the sun actually does go down, to light every light in your home, Even in your garden, maybe put little candles and things in your windows, and that is to welcome in all of the positivity that the sun is going to bring for the next season. And even as people that don't practice try and do this and welcome in the warmth of the
You'll
season.
find that a lot of us already do that. If you think,
Mhm.
even if you're not in the faith at the moment, a lot of people in their houses like to put candles here, there, and everywhere. It's no different in your witchcraft. And yeah, I was aware of that, sis.
It's
Not to that,
really
I normally only just put it like in my
it's a very
front
interesting one to do because
kitchen window, but
it really does work for every people. If you do just do it when the sun is going down on the 2nd of February, like everything in your home and welcome in, and you will wake up the next day feeling really, really positive. I did it
yeah,
last year, and it is amazing how it does make you feel, even just as a normal person, because to me, it is ridding all that winter blues, and that is what Imbolc is
yeah.
to celebrate, is to get rid of all those winter blues, the dark nights, and welcome in everything new. The sun's going to be blooming soon and blooming all the new, which is our next season, where you will see all the when he's starting to grow. Do you know what I mean? So next
So yeah,
season,
you
that's what
do that
that
on the second, guys. Like
is.
just as the sun's going down,
Yeah,
just put all your
just come
candles
in
and
at
everything
10.
on, put all your good intentions and all the good things you want to come out, and let
It's
it
just
do
to
its
get rid
thing.
of all the winter blues and welcome in all, and it really does work. That's what got me last year and that's when I changed my mind to Imbolc being one of the most important, because it really, really does give you a new outcome for the year. I mean, Yule is good, and it's good to feel that loving, warm feeling that you do in the winter, that you
And
do
that'd be really good
stuff.
at a time as well to use your
Yeah,
basson, because your basson's another way to get rid of that as well. At a bit, it's just starting off the year.
well,
You use your basson to
yeah.
get rid of all of the
That is
old
your
energy
spring
as
clean,
well.
isn't it? That is why typically your spring clean. You're pushing out
Yeah,
everything that is old and
and
done in the
letting in
winter.
everything
And
new. That's
yeah,
what the broom represents. It represents getting hold of the new old and bringing
even
back the
if you
new.
aren't witches, guys, go into your local shop, and I know there's a lot of wax melts and different things out there for pennies in your pound shops and things. Get something really summery, and then even in that night, like that in your wax melt burner and welcome it in. Try and get something really like don't know, like sunflowery feeling, making you feel as if like the sunflowers are growing, and do you know what I mean? That type of thing, the
Like
daffodils and things.
sunflower, wild
Yeah,
rose,
just anything
them
that makes you feel
really
summery.
flower and earthy smelling stuff.
Yeah.
That's what you want
And
to be
push
bringing
out
into the
all that
house.
dark winter blues and welcome in the sun, because this is when the goddess and the god typically met in their young love stage. So this is why we
Yeah,
celebrate things and that. So Imbolc is a really interesting one. And I think he's a
you can
like
get
the
lots of
altar.
incense sticks as well, though, can't you?
Yeah.
Like
And
that's
I'm
what
going
you
to
put for
show you
different
that a little
things.
bit different, because usually, as it said in that, you would like all the white candles around it. But I'm going to show you the way that I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to do it this year with the best of intent. For I'm going to make the candles a person, and I'm going to push it out there for the best intent for these people, and I'm going to make it like our community. So that'll be interesting for you guys to feel that as well. And it's, do you know what I mean? So you'll see that in the video anyway. But it's really interesting, because if you really just do that as a normal person, you'll feel it.
Yeah,
And next season is where you plant your seeds and things like that. So we'll explain that one as well. And I think Aya Star, it's a Starinix.
it's when the bright, it's when the darkness becomes less, and
Mm-hmm.
it's when, like,
It's
like
really
the
interesting.
sister said,
Have
the
you
god
got
and
any
the goddess
questions,
meet and fall in
guys?
love.
This is when they fall in
It's
love.
the
So this is
time
a good. That's why we've got Valentine's Day and things as well. Which, if you
for
look at it,
love and
yeah,
fertility and
mm-hmm.
good things,
Yeah, all that.
lift me up things. All of
Right.
it does come in these months. Like Sis said,
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day, you've got spring, you've got
It's amazing if you
Easter.
think about it,
All
how it
good
all
things.
just really does work in, and it really does work into the wheel of the year for the witches. And I think when people realise that, when you do start doing this craft and reading the books and realising the way things work, you do start to realise the way the world really does work, except for the way that the Bible has typically told you. This is when you will start to understand the way the world really was formed, and the way that man has progressed. And it's usually through honouring the sun, honouring the moon, honouring the cycles of our
Yeah,
Mother Earth. And the seas and things as well is very important, because it gives us our weather. So we have to keep also our seas happy, which I think a lot of people forget, that the sea is also a living entity that needs a lot of care and things. That's why a lot of people are fighting for all the plastics and things to be done away with. It's because the seas are suffering and things. So
They
just
are.
even be aware of that type of thing, guys. Your
Every,
recycling is very important for the seas right now.
everything in this world is connected and living,
Yeah.
no matter what it is. And, you do have to look after it.
Where
So,
can I find my Valentine this year? When I am quite sure she's out there. I am quite sure if you put the best intent out there and manifest her, she will come. Put out positivity, love, even like a little candle every day and welcoming love into your life. This is the best time to
yeah,
manifest
just
that.
being
And
positive,
she will
being
come.
up
Mm-hmm.
route. Don't go looking for it. Let it come
Yep.
to you. Just enjoy it. Look into yourself,
Be
and
kind to
like
people.
sis said, just do your candle writing. I would like to find love, and just enjoy that and look after yourself. Because obviously, if you look after yourself and you make yourself appealing, it will make somebody find you appealing. Okay, so you got to make sure that you feel good as well. So
Go out
it
with
will
a
come, and it is the
positive
time of
mind.
year for good things to
Yeah.
happen.
If you see somebody that's smiling, they've got a really pretty smile, tell them. You never
Yeah,
know. If you see
compliments.
somebody that dropped, I know it's a typical cliche, dropped their handkerchief and you pick it up and give them, that type of thing. Just be kind, be nice, and you will meet the right person. You just have to be positive. Just keep being you, and she will come, or he will come,
Wayne,
or it will
we
come.
cannot find your love for you. You will
No,
find
but
it
we can
yourself.
help you
You have to make
manifest
that happen.
the
Like
love.
all
Not
the I all this stuff when you get these people that go to some witches and they get these love spells done on people and that it doesn't
doesn't
work.
work.
Okay, it'll work for so long and then it runs out. Okay, there's always a price when you do that sort of thing. That's why when we do love spells, we don't do it on a particular person. We just ask that love's put into the world and that love is found to those that are meant to find it.
That you've I always, if I'm doing something like that for somebody, if I think that no, they don't need a partner, they need love. That type of
I will never
attitude.
ever do my spells to the point where if somebody comes to me and goes, right, I've
I
got this
wouldn't do
guy
it
that
either. No.
I was with him for 4 years, he left me, done this, and I'm wanting you to make him fall back in love with me. I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to waste your time there because it will end up going wrong in the end and it'll come back on me. I
Yeah.
can ask for you to find love, and whoever that's going to be, that's down to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then, you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. This Smith family's got a very good one. Repeat to yourself, I open my heart to my true love and welcome them into my life.
Yeah,
Say that,
just
even
repeat
repeat
it.
as many
That's all
times
you've
as
got
you
to do.
feel.
Just say, I want to find love. Can you please
I
help me to
bet, Wayne,
find
if you
love?
stick to that,
Show
you
me
will
the
find
path.
love soon. I really, really feel that because you're very kind. You always come into the live. You're very respectful.
Oh
You
yeah,
are very loving because you always tell everybody in the room how
she
much
is definitely
love
out
is
there for
going.
you,
She
Mr.
will
Wayne.
find.
She's
Yeah.
definitely
You
out
keep
there, sweetheart. You
positive,
just gotta keep
mm-hmm,
believing
and keep being kind.
and keep being you.
Yeah, for sure.
And very true
Last
what the Smith
Valentine's we
family
dealt
said.
with a phantom serial killer, bald and bonkers.
Last
Well, that's
Valentine's we
true.
dealt with a phantom serial killer. Oh dear.
Starting tomorrow, Wayne. That is it. Positive
Yes,
attitude.
positive and lift me up and
Don't
think
even wait to the
positively. It makes
second,
it more attractive.
for sure. Anybody else
You
got any questions, guys? Anything you would like to ask about the seasons, about what Sister said about the altars and the things that you place in your altars? Also, before you put things in your altars, cleanse them. Just get a bit of sage and just sage whatever it
Yeah,
is you
that's
want
all
to
in
put
the
in your
video
altar.
that I done. I explained
Oh,
how
that's
you
right. I
cleanse and
forgot.
stuff down and stuff, and that you would do that on a regular basis any time before you every morning when you get up, you would sage your secret area, sage over
Yeah.
your altar. You don't have to move the objects off the altar every time like that. That was just when you're doing your big one where you
I will
needed to
give you a
completely
tip.
change it. 9 times out of 10, I will leave my stuff on the altar, maybe move it slightly to get the cloth off maybe once a week just to shake the cloth off and I put it all back on. I don't have to do all that stuff again. But
Right.
normally, nine
Guys,
times out
please
of 10,
believe,
I
right?
just leave everything on the altar
You
and just
don't
get the
always
sage
have
and
to go
just
get
wave
sage
over it and
sticks.
just do a prayer
Yeah,
and it's
you don't
done.
have to go get sage sticks and write sage every time. See the little white sage incense cones, incense sticks you get there are just as powerful as the actual sage itself
That's why I
because
said
it
in the
really
video,
is
I
just
said
your
in the
intent
video to
as
them,
well.
I said you can
So,
use sage, but if you can't get hold of sage, then use the incense
yeah,
sticks because they're just as good.
yeah,
And always make sure you've got a little bit of lavender and heather as well, because that's really good and it keeps the positive energy in as well. Really good for this time of year as well, lavender and heather. Like if you're bringing the positivity in and you're wanting to find good things, they're good.
even if get a little book of herbs. I mean, I've got a lot of information out there that I've actually found for Freya's Cauldron. It's gave us some and things, but even just Google it and make yourself a spreadsheet of all the different herbs there is, all the different properties. And it really is fun. Experiment with the different things. You could put a little bit of love from one thing in with a little bit of something for else. And experiment. That's what I did. That's why I know what works now with my little jars and things, is because I experimented. I've actually
See,
did
people
buy
do
an altar
listen to
kit.
what I say because I said this all the other week. That is another way that you can do that as well. You can put you can write something down, like you can do your candles, Wayne, but you can also write down on a bit of paper and just put it under your pillow and manifest it and ask for it to be brought to light as well. There are many ways that you can do it. Just make sure that anything that you do it in a positive mind.
Yeah, you get about 45 minutes out an incense stick. That's right, Christopher. Yeah.
You get 45 minutes out of one. Yeah, that's good. That is good.
They really are powerful, and and as we explained last week, the smell of incense and things really does put you in these different moods. They put you into the different spaces
They
that
help
you
you
need to be.
focus.
They do. They help you focus, and there is different ones out there that will end up relating to you. Maybe it's one that's meant to be for manifesting, say, or one that's meant to be for protection, and you might just take to that one. That means that
Yeah,
that's the
they just
smell
bring
that
out
you
they
want.
bring out
Yeah,
like your different energies
it
that you
doesn't
would
mean
use everyday
it
life. All of them are different.
and they do the work. That's the main thing. They really do work. They help put you in that space, and they help make
Yeah.
you push out what you need.
I had 4 going today. It was like a hippie communication in here. Oh, Chris. So there's no more questions. I think, to be honest, we did quite cover it pretty well. Like it
Yeah,
was in quite good detail. There isn't a lot that you
yeah.
wouldn't have not understood.
And I
As
actually
I
think
said,
there is
there was
more
a few words
information
that
out
I
there.
slipped up on because I'm not very good because of being dyslexic, but I am going to be posting it out so you can
That's
read it for
okay.
yourself.
Well, I actually think you're doing pretty good. I really
I
do
think I
think
did.
you're
There
doing
was just a couple of
amazing.
them that are really long words.
Yes.
That's where the idiot book needs to come in.
The Gardenian in the grimoire, that was about the only 2 words this
Yeah,
approach. Everything else
it
you could
weren't bad. It
understand
was just
perfect.
it was the way it was spelt and that. And like
Yeah.
sometimes I forget, and it's just
We
like,
give you
okay, how do you
plenty
say
of
that?
encouragement.
No.
You're doing absolutely amazing.
I am actually. I have noticed I am getting better with
You
my
are
reading. The
so
more that I'm reading and the more that I'm doing, I'm getting better because I'm starting to notice and recognise words that
yeah.
I've said already now. So I'm like, yep,
Some of them really are hard on our
they
faith
are.
as well, guys. Honestly, I mean, some of these words, especially when you're naming the angels and the way the Bible and things, maybe not the Bible as such talks, but the way they name these deities and things, it really is pretty hard to pronounce them, especially as British people, because we get tongue tied as it is.
It is, and some of it is really confusing. Even the most like renowned witches in the world, some of them probably struggle saying some of the words as well. You know what I mean? Because they are really difficult. If you think about it.
Discombobulate, spell that. Yes, Christopher. Yeah. And everything really is what you want it to be. As long as you've got the
Thank you,
intent
Wayne.
there and the push and the determination, it really is up to you. It is up to the individual person, the individual witch. It is really is what you put into it. It's got to be completely down to you and the power in you. And just that these energies are out there and they will work with you if you
Yep,
connect to them.
they will work with you. You just got to connect to them and
Got to
ask them to be involved.
meditate,
You do have to ask
honor,
them to be involved and
ask,
dedicate, honor
beg,
them.
plead,
They're not just going
be
to
in
come to you and start going,
desperation.
"Hello, Wayne, I'll start doing this for you." You have got to ask them.
Yeah, definitely. And you have got to be
Yeah,
sincere, guys. That's why I think my deity did come to me when I was
yeah, and
like
be
at my
honest.
lowest
Yeah,
point, and I really did need something to happen before I believed in myself more than anything, and it did come. but it really does take to the point where you really need to believe it and you really need to want it. And if you put in the dedication to it, you will get to a place where you understand it all, and it does come a bit easier than we're explaining it. It really does.
Exactly, and it
and it's
takes time,
great.
but you will notice the difference, and you will notice the changes. It takes time, but you will notice it. Believe me, it's an amazing,
You get to the place where
amazing
you're
thing to have.
happy in your own mind. You get to the place where you can sit and daydream for hours on end, and you really are happy just being you and within yourself and manifesting these things and going to these different realms where you're meeting your ancestors and you're meeting your deities and things, and you know they're there because you smell the same smells, and it does
You get
connect.
to
You
know
really
them.
do understand that, yeah. And then you hear them on
Yeah,
the spirit box, guys. We have now got to a stage where we turn necrophonic on in the spirit box and things. We are hearing our ancestors, we're hearing our deities and things, and we will start bringing that into what me and sister do, if he's like,
yeah, that would be really good. It would be
because
nice to
that is a
put them
big
in because,
part. Yeah.
to be honest, with all our shows now, we don't get a lot of time for our guys at the minute, bless them.
Mhm.
So it probably would be good to introduce them into something.
Yeah.
But we've been on for just over an hour, and we're not going to be doing the card readings tonight, guys, because I'm not very well. And I'm
Yeah,
dosed
no,
up on
it was
tablets,
my
and Sister
son's
Drew's not
birthday
feeling too
today.
great and not up to it either. So we're not going to be doing card readings this week, but we will be doing that next week. But we did want to come on here and be able to share this topic, and we hope that it's helped you to understand a little bit more about Imbolc, that it helps you to understand a bit more about different witch faiths and the tools and stuff, and a little bit about what white and black is. So it doesn't mean good and evil. White and black is just the way that two individuals see differently when they're trying to connect and stuff, guys. So we hope that you did enjoy that show. And again, you can go back over the shows to get any information, and you can come directly to us if you
Yeah, of
need any
course.
deeper work.
Especially if you think of a question afterwards. Even keep it for next week and we will certainly answer it.
Yep, more than happy. But
Yes.
I think, like, for us, I think we've covered what we want to cover now. So I think that I'm going to say that we're finishing this now. But we want to thank all of you for coming in to the Lost Magics show tonight and learning about witches and the new tools and stuff that we use. And we hope that that's educated you. And I send you lots of love, light, and blessings, guys. Love you very much, and a blessed be to you, sister.
Okay, guys, it's always, as usual, a pleasure to speak to you all. And as I said, me and sister probably will do. Sister's got a video going out, and it is actually on her channel as well about the cleansing of the altars and things. I will be giving the guys a video on the Imbolc altar, maybe even a quick video on a normal altar, how
Keep
we
your
set
eyes
up
open.
things. So keep an eye out for that. And
And
thanks for spending time with us, guys. Blessed be.
we will see you very soon. Merry partings, my angels, and love and
Bye.
light.